with Bill Belichick and his 13-year-old girlfriend. Our
fourth and final preview over here on Power 4 Picks is the ACC Conference. We're going to go through each team and who we think is going to win this one. Maybe some dark horses. Probably not, because it's the ACC and it's very top heavy and one of the worst conferences in Power 4 conferences in the country. But I got Ethan here. We just went over the Big Ten, the SEC, and the Big 12. Those previews are out on our page, Better in Green. Make sure you do follow, like, and subscribe to our channel. We don't just cover college football. We cover NFL, MLB, MMA, soccer, you name it. It's all over here at Better in Green. But let's get into the ACC. At the top, we do have Clemson, who is plus 105 to win the ACC. Right behind Clemson, we have Miami at plus 380. Then we have SMU and Louisville at plus 850. Georgia Tech at plus 1200. And then after that, it gets pretty ugly here. We do have 3 ranked teams in the ACC. With Louisville close behind in the receiving votes. We have Clemson, who is number 4. We have Miami, who is number 10. Then we have SMU, who is number 16. But Ethan, welcome. How are you feeling about this ACC?
Not great. Don't really have much on the ACC. I mean, Clemson should cakewalk their way to a conference win. Are they going to? I don't know. I have a team that I'm a little bit higher on. I have a team that I'm looking to fade. I'll let you kind of set the stage for us before I get into that. But as far as the 4 conferences go, ACC, most definitely the one I'm least excited about.
Yeah, this conference is not good, and it's only a matter of years before it comes down to 2 conferences in football, in the SEC and the ACC. I think we're going to see that sooner rather than later. But yeah, I'm just going to keep this one quick. I have Clemson. I don't know if Clemson is going to lose the game this year. I think they easily can go 12-0. They do have a very tough test week 1 against LSU, but that game is at home. And then they do have a tough ender, an in-state rivalry against South Carolina at South Carolina to finish their season. So those are 2 potential games, tough games for them. They do play SMU, the 3rd-ranked team in the ACC, but that game is also at home. And they play Louisville as well, who's receiving votes. But I think Clemson is just head over heels the rest of the ACC. I think they're just so much better. Cade Klubnik is back. I think he is a top 3 returning quarterback in the country. I think Clemson is going to be a 2, 3, or 4 seed in this college football playoff. Like I said, I think they very well could go 12-0. Even if they go 12-0, I don't think they'll get that 1 seed just because how weak their conference is and how weak their schedule is. But Clemson is going to be my team to win this ACC, and I don't think it's going to be very close. Miami is a team that I'm going to fade, but that's no news because I do that every single year. This Miami team with Carson Beck at quarterback, this team doesn't leave the state of Florida until November 1st. So talk about a cakewalk of a schedule. Miami does the same crap every year. They get into the rankings, they lose a game, and they completely implode. I don't know if it's a culture thing. I don't know if it's a coach thing. I don't know if it's a school thing. But this team has no grit and no guts to, in my opinion, to make a push for these playoffs. They do also have a tough schedule. They play Notre Dame, they play Florida, they play at SMU, and they do play that tricky Louisville team at home. But Miami's a team that I'm just not really looking forward to. I think this team is going to be a team to fade this year, and I just don't think they're going to be. They're probably be good for the first 6 weeks of college football. Then after that, I think they're really gonna take a downfall. SMU is a complete unknown to me. I think they're not on the same caliber level as Clemson, but they are an interesting team. They had a great year last year. They can maybe build off that momentum. They do play some pretty tough out of conference. They play 2 Big 12 teams. They're at TCU and they play home against Baylor. So not the easiest out of conference. And then they do play at Clemson, and they also play Miami and Louisville. So a tougher ACC schedule, probably the toughest ACC schedule outside of Clemson for SMU. So they are an unknown. They could surprise some people. They could duplicate what they did last year, but I just can't back SMU enough to have them making the college football playoff like they did last year and got exposed. I can't have them contending for the ACC. So in my opinion, this is Clemson and it's Clemson only. And I just don't think there's any other team that can even compete with the Tigers. How about you, Ethan?
Yeah, I won't touch much on Clemson. I mean, yeah, if they get past Louisville or not Louisville, LSU week 1, which I do think they will, they're going to coast their way to a very easy season. Like you said, probably go undefeated, maybe have one loss in there if they trip up. Miami, two things here. Mario Cristobal is their head coach. Carson Beck went to school there chasing a woman who then dumped him and just dragged him through the mud across all their social media. So zero chance I'm touching Miami. Uh, Fully agree. That's a fade team for me. SMU fade team. I'm kind of looking to fade the teams that kind of made a miracle run last year. The SMUs, Indiana's, Arizona State, Boise, maybe some of those teams. So I'm out on SMU. I'm going to give out Louisville at plus 850 as the value. Uh, Quarterback Miller Moss coming over from USC, a senior, has plenty of college football experience. Their schedule, not too difficult. Their first big game, well, they do have James Madison outside of the ACC and they're in week 2, but they should be able to get by JMU. I know they've been a pretty solid team as of late. It wouldn't shock me if JMU wins that game, but I guess that would be a somewhat tough one. Their first really tough game is October 17th on the road at Miami. It's a Friday night game. But like I said, I just kind of gave a couple of fade reasons for myself not liking Miami. I think Miami's just not that great of a team. And then it really gets down to their final 3 games of the year: home against Clemson, at SMU, and then against Kentucky. I think they can beat Kentucky. I think they can beat SMU. Yeah, they probably lose to Clemson, but that gets them into the championship game with revenge if they're likely playing Clemson. So I think Louisville's worth a shot at the plus 850 there. I think their schedule's fairly easy. Of course, all these team schedules are fairly easy playing against each other. But I think that's the team I would most be looking at there, if not for Clemson. The team I am fading, obviously, North Carolina with Bill Belichick and his 13-year-old girlfriend. Um, I I wish they were more they're not quite as public as what I thought they'd be yet. Um, I'll fade them week 1 against TCU. I hope to win the bet, but if they come out and win and maybe get a public backing, it'd be a good way to make money long term throughout the year. But looking to fade North Carolina, just part of my makeup is fading the big names who, I don't know. I just don't see Bill Belichick really caring that much about coaching college football. And then I guess one more team I'll just throw out there, and it's just kind of a gut play. Florida State should be better this year. 2 years removed from that undefeated run where they lost what's his face at quarterback, and then got snubbed out of the college football playoff just to get run out of the building by Georgia, I believe.
Yep.
And then obviously last year, I mean, just started out horrifically. I think they started 0-2 and just really never found their footing. The season was kind of over before it started for Florida State. So they probably bounce back this year and put up a decent showing. They probably get up into the rankings and stay there for a few weeks. I wouldn't be shocked. So don't think they're really going to make too big of a noise to win the conference, but I think they're probably a bit of a bet on team, especially early. But yeah, not super excited about the ACC as a whole. I do think Louisville has some good value, and they probably have good value betting week by week as well.
Yeah, Louisville is a team that I definitely think can win this. Well, not win this, but I think they can contend with Clemson. Georgia Tech is another kind of sneaky team. I believe they still got Haynes King at quarterback. I only know the name because I made $2,500 off of him to score 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns against Georgia. He did end up scoring 3, but he's a baller. And Georgia Tech, they don't run that triple option anymore, and I think he's a dynamic player that can maybe catapult them to a couple big wins. But again, I think this is a one man show in the ACC, and I think it's Clemson all day. I'll be looking forward to, I guess, this conference in fading Miami. And thank you for touching on North Carolina. Another absolute fade team. I mean, Bill Belichick, talk about a player's coach, not a player's coach in college. I don't think he was even a player's coach in the NFL. He just was that brainiac, scary guy that had his system. And I just think he's really going to struggle in college. And even though it is a very bad conference, I think they're going to struggle in there. So thank you for touching on Bill Belichick. But yeah, this is not going to be a good conference. I will be taking the plus 50,000 Stanford Cardinal to beat Hawaii in week 0. Again, that is on Saturday. We have, I think, 4 or 5 games this Saturday. So college football is starting. It's right around the corner for week 1. I can't wait. Do you have anything to add on this ACC before we sign off for our conference predictions?
Good luck with Stanford on Saturday, but no, yeah, there's probably going to be great betting opportunity week by week in this conference. But yeah, as far as futures go, maybe sprinkle or throw a free bet on Louisville if you agree there. Otherwise, Clemson's probably going to run away with this one.
Yeah, and I think the SEC and the Big Ten I think they have a really solid opportunity of getting 4 teams into the college football playoff. Whereas the Big 12 and the ACC, I think they're just going to get one. I think they're going to get the conference champion gets in. We saw what happened to SMU last year, giving another bid to the ACC, and they got absolutely pummeled. So yeah, I think it's going to be going to be a Big Ten SEC show in the playoffs, and Clemson will have a chance, and so will maybe the winner of the Big 12. But I think majority of our big hitters are going to be in the Big Ten and SEC. Again, not any new news. But we do have to touch on all 4 Power 4 conferences. But let us know in the comments who you have winning the ACC. And you know what? Let us know who you have being the group of 5 team that gets into the college football playoff as well. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you follow along for Better in Green. We don't just talk about college football. We go through it all. NFL, baseball, MMA. We got soccer in there as well. So make sure you subscribe to our channel. We greatly appreciate it. And until then, guys, we'll see you for week 1.
Welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listening to cash out, that's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome to our podcast, Better in Green.